Hi, I'm Lisa K. Donner, along with Jeff Charles, Sarah Cowgill, Graham Noble, and Pernell Bird. And this is the Conservative Five, Liberty Nation's online TV news program. The liberal media may have labeled him a Trump loyalist. Some say he's attempting to fill Rush Limbaugh's mighty media shoes. But whatever you call him, Dan Bongino is sizzling hot in conservative circles. A former New York City cop, also a dedicated Secret Service agent, and now a commentator treading the tricky post-Trump waters, is a force to be reckoned with. Why has he risen to heights so fast? I've heard Dan Bongino described as a younger Trump, with the same America First drive and the same bombastic style. Graham, how do you compare the two, and what's your take on the new conservative dream team?
Well, Lisa, a comparison, I suppose, between Bongino and Trump is interesting. There are certain, I believe, very significant differences in terms of they have the same kind of manner, but Donald Trump was actually very much laser focused on economic efficiency, for want of a better word, when he was president. I mean, I think that's often overshadowed by his style and his kind of unfiltered and rather combative nature. And of course, Bongino actually shares that kind of in-your-face nature. So it's an interesting pairing. I think Bongino has separate talents, if you like, separate areas of expertise. Whereas, Trump was the businessman, Bongino's more of the in your face, as he says himself, I'm all about owning the libs. So I think that's a kind of a difference, but interesting pairing.
All right, Pernell, what do you say?
I've been a fan of Dan Bongino since he's sort of had a higher profile over the last couple of years. I love he's pugnacious, he's pugilistic, he's all the pug words, frankly. And I do see the comparisons to Trump. They're both sort of happy warriors, and I think it's fantastic. I mean, I guess I wouldn't have necessarily picked him straight out of the gate to be as ascendant as he is right now, but I think he's really rising to the occasion. The things that I've seen him do on his new shows, he's really up to the challenge. He's a bright guy, and I love that he's a guy who gets in the ring, he slugs away, but he does it with a little bit of a wry smile, which makes it go down easier.
Yeah, it's interesting. He really is an in-your-face guy, Sarah.
Well, I like the fact that he tempers his, bombastic style and nature with a little bit of common sense. And he gets right up to that line, but he never jumps across the way Trump used to. And the way Trump probably will again, if anybody ever lets him back on social media. You've got a guy who worked in the government, in the federal government, for years, and those years taught him a lot about, kind of keeping it to the point, yet don't offend anybody. And I don't think he's as offensive. I do think he's a great replacement for Rush, and I think he's going places. I wouldn't be surprised if his star rises all the way to the top.
I wrote this week that Bongino doesn't talk, he bellows and thunders. Jeff, the other thing about Bongino that I think a lot of people don't talk about is that, like Trump, he's got an incredible business acumen.
Yes, he does. I mean, a lot of people don't know, but he's part owner of Parler, and he's got some other interests as well. But I think that Bongino represents...
Wait, just to be clear, it's not Rumble?
I don't know if he has any interest in Rumble. He might, but I do know that he has interest in Parler as well.
Yeah, he has a heavy stake in Parler.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But I wouldn't be surprised if he had interest in Rumble as well. I mean, the guy knows what he's doing. And I think, but even beyond this, I mean, I think looking at it deeper, this is what the base wants. Dan Bongino represents that. He's a pugilist. And the thing that people like about him is that he doesn't care what the left thinks of him. He doesn't care what anybody thinks of him. He's going to say what he wants to say. And if you agree with it, fine. If you don't, that's fine too. And a lot of people can admire that quality, because on the right, we have a lot of squishies. I mean, we got a lot of squishies who want to appease everybody, but refrain from telling the truth the way it is. So, I mean, I haven't listened to him in a while, but I still poke in every now and then. And like Sarah said, he does take a more common sense approach, and he can actually back up what he says. He doesn't just engage in a lot of hyperbole without being able to provide a reason for his views.
Yeah, and anybody can take this. What I like about Bongino is he's not a crazy conspiracy theorist. I got it out. Okay. That he doesn't seem like he's off the wall, but he takes no prisoners as well. What does it say about the conservative public that they are gravitating to somebody like Bongino?
I don't know, but Graham better come up with another PUG word, since it seems like a couple of our panelists have been talking out of school, coming up with the pug words. Graham, do you have a pug word? Because I can't think of another one.
No.
Okay, well,
I'm not lost there.
Anybody want to take that?
Lisa, I will say, I think that having been embattled for 4 years of the Trump administration, taking the conservatives and Republicans and taking hits from all across the media, we're starved for people that won't apologize, like Dan Bongino. As you say, he's not going to back down. He's not going to pull a John Cena or anything like that. He's going to speak his mind. And I think, as Sarah points out, he does that in a common sense way that's tough, but still measured. And I think we're starving for folks like that. Tucker Carlson, Heather McDonald, Ben Shapiro, there are people like this who are not going to apologize for what they believe. And Dan Bongino is one of them. And by the way, I will say that if I ever run across him in the street, I pledge to say Buongiorno Bongino. I will do that.
Oh, not a P word, but a B word. Okay.
Oh,
You're the man of the hour.
I think one thing about Dan Bongino that I kind of like, if you want to put it that way, or it's not so much what I like, it's the fact that I believe that a lot of the conservative kind of voting base out there might like about him is that until probably just, I would say, a few short years ago, it seems, the conservative camp was split into almost two extremes in terms of the way they approach the ongoing kind of ideological and cultural battle against the left. On the one hand, you had as I think someone said before, I think it was Sarah, the squishies, where they're just they're kind of appeasers, really. They don't want to upset anybody. They don't even want to upset the people on the other side of the political aisle who absolutely despise them. They still don't want to upset them. And so you had theirs. And then on the other side of at the end of the spectrum, you had the conservatives who were the in-your-face conservatives, but they were also always just angry. They're just angry people. And I think that turns a lot of people off. Certainly turns me off when people, regardless of their political views, when they're just angry all the time. And Bongino is, in your face, but as Pernell said, in your face, but a happy warrior. Has a sense of humor about it. Has that little twinkle of mischievous humor in his eye, and I think he like dominates kind of the middle ground between those two extreme groups.
That's a really good point, and I think a cheerful demeanor goes a long way. Well, conservative voices are on the rise. What was once a niche market with one or two powerful voices like Rush and Hannity and even Bill O'Reilly, the young pups are coming out of the woodwork and making noise that surely the left wants to silence. We'll be watching where Dan takes his e-ticket ride. Thanks, panel. That's it for our Conservative 5 panel today. Check out our other C5 shows and segments on your favorite video platform. YouTube, Vimeo, Rumble, we're on them all. As well, Liberty Nation now has its own Roku channel where you can see all our TV productions. Thanks so much for tuning in, and remember to surf on over to libertynation.com. Sign up for our new member zone, just $29.99 for the year. This has been a production of libertynation.com, conservative news where truth matters.